There is no way that it's almost August right now. Like, there's no chance. Welcome to the August reset vlog. We are doing things a little bit differently today. I've done my reset vlogs kind of in the same style for the last 6+ months. I've been doing them pretty much the same way for the better part of a year, and I love the reset vlogs, and I know you guys love the reset vlogs, so nothing's like happening to the reset vlogs. They're not going away, but I wanted to just experiment with a different style and a different vibe for this August reset vlog. I am gonna be so honest with you guys. I am just sick to death of my routine right now. I am so unmotivated in my life. I'm so uninspired with just like everything. I just feel like I am right in the middle of limbo. Like I'm done with college, but I don't have a job yet, and I moved out of my Michigan apartment, but I don't have my next apartment lined up yet, and I want to go to Raleigh, but I don't have a job there yet, so I'm not gonna move there without a job. And there's just like a lot of things that are in flux right now, and everything's kind of like in transition. I'm just in a very transitional period of my life. And we're all friends here. You guys, I feel like you know me pretty well at this point. You know that I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like being in transition. I don't like not having a plan and not knowing what comes next, and like not being in control of my life. So I feel like I've tried really hard to like control the things that I can control and take steps towards getting over my need to control the other things in my life, but so far I don't know how it's going. So I've been kind of just like stewing, and just like I've been sort of just meh about a lot of things recently, but I am really excited to film this video and really get reset for August. I just have a good feeling about August. I said that about July, and it turned out to be a better month than June, so I'm going to keep on that train. We're manifesting a good month for August. We're manifesting good things. We're manifesting a big girl job, a big girl apartment, a move to Raleigh. We are just manifesting all of that stuff for August. There's just something so special about being a young lady in a parking lot. But you just get so stressed whenever anyone walks by your car. So we are going to make our way home. I'm currently out on the town. That's one of the things that I'm kind of feeling like in a rut about, is these monthly reset vlogs, like I mentioned. So we're starting this one on a completely different note than normal. We're out on the town, we're doing something different and fun. And oh my God, am I gonna be able to make it out before this light turns green? Yes, 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 yes. I hate this road, so this is fabulous. Yeah, so we're starting out completely on a different note. We're out on the town, we're out and about, we're doing some errands. I just went to the bank to deposit some birthday money. My birthday was yesterday on the day that I'm filming this. It's on July 28th. So for you guys, it'll be from a few days ago. Oh no! My birthday just happened, and I got some money from my family members, so I went to the bank to deposit that. Let me know why the bank, going to the bank, talking to the teller at the bank is always such a humbling experience. And it's literally never the bank's fault, it's always me. So, context, for my birthday, I got a new bag. I got a big girl bag, and I love it so much. And I was like, oh, what better place to debut the big girl bag than like going out to the bank and doing like big girl errands. Whenever you switch bags, you never switch all the stuff that you need into the new bag. So naturally, I didn't bring my debit card to the bank. How am I supposed to deposit money without my account details and my debit card? The poor teller, he was like, you don't have your debit card? I was like, I don't. I have my license. He was like, okay. How are you gonna go to the bank without the information that you need? That's like showing up to the bank without the check you're trying to deposit. So I had a little bit of a buffoon moment. That's okay, we've all been there. Everyone has their buffoonery every now and again. So other than that small hiccup, I have a really good feeling about the rest of the day. If you guys have seen any of my monthly resets before, I've been kind of following a pretty strict formula for at least all of 2023. I'll usually do like some sort of cleaning montage where I'll clean my room, clean my bathroom, do some sort of like physical reset of my space, And then I'll do what I call like my mental reset. So I'll go through the goals that I set for the previous month, set some new goals for the upcoming month. We'll do book club where I go through all the books that I read the previous month and all the books that I want to read in the upcoming month. And then I'll do my Notion and my bullet journal. So there's just been a formula for my reset vlogs the last 6 months, and I think it's really good. I love the formula. I think it works really well, but I need a change. I need something new, something fresh. That's why we're starting this vlog out running some errands, getting some stuff done. So something I've been really struggling with, especially during July, is this feeling, just this like overarching feeling in my entire life that my life is on hold. I feel like I've mentioned this a couple of times in the vlog, and I talk a lot about this with like my friends and my family, but I feel like my entire life is just on pause right now. Like, I was so happy at school. I felt like I was really in a rhythm. I was kind of creating and doing really well on my habits and fulfilling all my goals that I set each month, kind of like my overarching goals just for myself, like for the year. And I had a routine and I stuck to it most of the time. And since I've been home, I have not felt any of that, and I've been here since May, and it's just really hard to kind of articulate the way that I'm feeling, because like I love being home, I love my family, I love seeing all my friends and kind of watching everyone around me grow up, like my brother and his girlfriend and their puppy Nelson. Like, if I weren't here, I wouldn't get to see them as often, I wouldn't get to see Nelson, but at the same time, I just feel like this isn't my life. And everyone talks about this, how it's just such a hard phase of life to be in post-grad, when you're looking for a job and you're looking for a place to move and you just don't know like who you are and what you want and all of that stuff. And I feel like that's what I'm going through right now. So it's not that I don't want to get my life back in play. Like, I want to get my life off of hold. It's just like, it's not entirely up to me, which is kind of the frustrating thing. So like, I'm applying for jobs, I'm looking for apartments, but I can't actually like force those things to happen. Those are things that kind of just take time. So that was definitely a life lesson in July. I feel like just because I'm ready to move at a certain pace in my life doesn't mean my life is ready for me to move at that pace. So with all of that being said, I want to take a new approach to goal setting for August. I feel like I've had this same sort of setup for the last number of months, like a good chunk of the year, and I just don't really feel like it's working super well anymore. Like, I just kind of feel stuck in a rut. And the goals that I'm setting, I'm not really inspired by. I don't really feel extra motivated to like achieve my goals. I'm kind of just like, eh. So what I want to do is take a month off of setting specific goals and more focus on my intentions for the month, like setting one word that I want to focus on for the month, kind of setting like a mood and a tone for the month rather than specific goals, and see how that kind of plays out. I think one of the things that's kind of playing into this feeling of like my life isn't turning out the way that I want it to right now is that I set all these goals each month and then I don't really feel like I'm meeting them. So we're going to test out this new system where instead of setting like a laundry list of goals, we are just going to kind of focus more on the like vibe of the month, for lack of a better term. So first things first, we're gonna go in and we're gonna update my Notion, because you guys know nothing gets me more in the mood for a brand new month than updating my Notion. We're gonna go to Pinterest, find a bunch of pictures that kind of match the feel for August. My Notion page always feels like my mood board for August or for like a new month. So we're gonna go in and update that, and then we'll talk about like what the vibe is that I'm going to go for August. cannot even tell you how good it feels to not set goals this month, which feels so weird because I feel like I've been like a major cheerleader for setting goals and really trying to figure out like what goals I want to set. Like that's been such a big part of my reset vlogs for so long that it's just so different that I'm not doing it this month, but it's so freeing. Okay, I think what happened is that all of my goals started to feel like my life was one big checklist. And I love checklists. I set to-do lists every day. I use Finch every day, which is basically just a glorified self-care checklist. I love checking things off and I love completing tasks and marking things as done. Like I love it. That's my jam. But I don't want my life to feel like that. I think my life was starting to feel like routine-y, but in a bad way. So it's just so freeing to like get rid of that checklist feeling and have this one thing that I want to focus on that can manifest in lots of different ways. But I'm kind of just not setting out a roadmap. I'm kind of just gonna set the word for the month and see how it goes. So let me show you guys my Notion. Okay, so here's the August spread in my Notion. I am so happy with it. I think it looks so good. August to me has the same vibe as a Sunday. Like if August were a day of the week, it would definitely be Sunday, which to me also just feels like a sunset. Like it's kind of the end of summer, the end of an era, the end of the day. So I went for this very like sunset golden hour theme for August and I am obsessed with it. I think it looks so good. So I made my banner using pictures I found on Pinterest and then I just put them together in Canva and I changed up my font. I've been doing this sort of like typewriter font for the entire first 7 months of the year. But for August I switched it and I made it, I don't know how to explain the font, but it just matches August in my brain. I made my little icon a cheersing glasses of like champagne just to fit that like golden hour theme. I obviously, if we scroll down, updated my photos. I have this window motif going on in this spread for this month. I don't know what that says about me, if that's sort of like me feeling trapped and I'm like looking out into the world, or if it's like that saying when one door closes a window opens. So there's a lot of different ways we can interpret that, but there's a lot of windows happening for me in this spread. We've got 2 out of these 3 pictures are windows, and then I've got 1, 2, 3 more windows up in my banner. So we can debate in the comments what it means that I'm having some sort of weird fixation on windows for August. Anyway, what we're all here for is my August focus, which I have in this little section right here. And I've decided that my word of the month for August is going to be discipline. I feel like if you look back at all the goals that I've set for each month throughout this year, they all really boil back to discipline and kind of trying to make sure that I am the one like in charge of my life. I talked about this back in my July reset vlog, or maybe it was my mid-year reset, I don't remember. But I talked about being the driver in my life rather than being the passenger, and I really think that is just my overarching goal for 2023. It's really important to me that I'm not just like letting life pass me by, that I'm like actually going out and I'm living. And I think a lot of that comes from discipline, like being disciplined with your goals and being disciplined with your habits. I'm like, if I want to meet all of these 9 daily habits every day, I need to be disciplined about it. So I've made my word of the month for August, discipline. And then the 2 kind of notes I have underneath that say, number 1, if it takes less than 5 minutes to do it right away. That kind of boils down to like picking clothes up off the floor or like cleaning out my desk or doing something where it's like, oh, I need to do that, rather than just like adding it to the list and doing it later. I really want to focus on doing things as soon as they cross my mind. I think that will make it easier on me in the long run. The second note that I have underneath is you don't have to want to do it, but you have to do it anyway. I saw this on TikTok a few weeks ago. It was this woman saying like, you don't have to like it. You don't have to be excited about whatever you're doing. Like, do it mad, do it sad, do it angry, do it irritated, do it embarrassed. Like, you don't have to be super jazzed about the task that you're doing or the activity you're doing or the work that you're doing, but you have to do it. You don't have to be super excited about doing it, but you need to be disciplined enough and like trust yourself enough that this is an important thing to do, that you do it anyway. So I'm really trying to focus on discipline for August. So obviously I didn't set any individual goals on this page, but I do have a couple things in mind that I want to apply this Discipline Concept 2 in August. So I want to be really disciplined about looking for a job. I feel like I've been really good about applying for jobs. I've applied for so many jobs this summer and during the spring. I'm starting to get kind of discouraged, honestly, but I'm trying to just keep my head high, keep up that search, like keep my nose to the grindstone, really just keep applying for as many jobs as possible, and like something will give eventually. So I want to put that discipline to work in applying for jobs and looking for apartments. That is definitely a big one. I want to be more disciplined with my social media, which is my job for the summer, and it will continue to be my job after I get a big girl job. It just won't be my only job. Like I just said job so many times. I really want to be more disciplined about taking my fitness more seriously. So you can see like there's a lot of different facets where I think discipline is going to come in during August. And again, I'm not setting those specific goals, but that's kind of it. That's like discipline is the word in the back of my mind when I was setting all those goals. So I'd like to be able to just focus on the discipline aspect rather than focusing on, am I checking the box on these goals? I hope that makes sense. I know that was a little bit like deep and kind of introspective, but that's kind of how I'm feeling for August. So it is what it is. One thing I'm not doing for August is setting a goal for the number of books that I'm gonna read. You guys might know my overall goal for the year is to read 30 books, and I'm on track to do that. I usually set my goal to be around 3 books a month, but for June, I think I read 6 or 7 books. No, I think I read 9. For June, I read a lot of books, and then I set my goal to be 5 books in July. And I have never had my goal that high, and I will never set it that high ever again. Because for June, my goal was to read 3 books, and I ended up reading the 9, which was great. And then I was like, oh great, I'm on a reading kick, I'll just up my goal for July. And it ended up stressing me out where I just wasn't enjoying my reading anymore. I just felt like, oh, I need to hit my 5-book goal, like I need to read 5 books. So I felt like pressure to read and to read more books and to read faster, and I just did not like it. So where I'm kind of at is like, I've got a bunch of books that I want to read or that I'm interested in or that feel like August books for me. So I'm not setting a book goal, and I feel like I'm on track, like I mentioned, to meet my 30 books for the year goal by December. So we're really just chilling. So let's first talk about the books that I read in July. It's actually quite a stack, but don't worry, we're gonna get into the ins and outs. It was a very pink and blue stack. I'm also listening to Happy Place on audiobooks, so like imagine that that's on top, and that's a bright pink cover. So it was a very pink and blue month. But I have to say, I don't think I made all the best book choices in July. I was kind of just like dissatisfied with most of the books that I read in July, which kind of stinks. But first up, I read Rogue by Elle Kennedy. This is the sequel to Misfit, which I read back in June, and it just didn't hit the same. I loved Misfit. I thought it was so good. It was so dramatic. The drama was so juicy. Everything was just so like, and like it was good, but it was not great. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was nearly as good as the first one. The romance was terrible in my opinion. Let me pull up my Goodreads and I'll tell you guys my ratings for each of these books. Yeah, okay, I gave this a 3 out of 5. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't my favorite. I just didn't really enjoy this book that much. Next up, I read The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther or Walter. I can't tell if that H is supposed to be silent or not. This is a cute book. I actually didn't plan on reading this, but I was shopping at Target.com and got seduced. This book was really popular on Book Talk, and the cover is really cute. It just looked like a summery book. So what did I rate this book? I rated it 4 out of 5. This was a pretty good book. This was cute. It was just like a nice summer beachy read. I think I read a good like 75% of this at the pool, like quite literally floating around on a float in the pool. So this book definitely got a little bit wet from time to time, but it was cute. Next up, I did not finish this book. This is The Infinity Between Us by N.S. Perkins. I was really excited to read this book, but it just did not grab me. I think I read like, I don't know, I think I read the first like 30-ish pages and I just was not hooked. This book just kind of felt like every other book that I've ever read. It just was kind of all the same stuff that I've been reading recently, you know, like a summer beach house in Maine, which I live in Maine, so it's always kind of weird to read about everyone like romanticizing Maine. I'm like, I live here. But you know, a summer beach house and friends to lovers, but something happened and they got pushed away and they didn't talk for a long time. Like, it just kind of felt tired a little bit. Like, it felt the same as a lot of other books that I read and liked better. So I did not finish this. I may pick it back up at some point. Obviously, I bought it, so I want to like get my money's worth, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm not in any hurry to finish this anytime soon. Next, we had The Summer Girl by Elle Kennedy, and you guys, I loved this book. This is a great book. Elle Kennedy, you've redeemed yourself from the lackluster book that was Rogue. This book actually came out in July. I got it on the day that it came out. Like, I pre-ordered this on Amazon. This book was so good. Was it very similar to a lot of other books that I've read? Is it a summer beach romance? Yes. Is it friends to lovers? Yes. Is it like cringy high school drama? Yes. Did I eat it up? Yes. This book was just so good. The chemistry between the two main characters was just amazing. Cassie is very relatable for me. Tate is the perfect book boyfriend. I feel like this needs to blow up on Book Talk because it was so good. 5 stars easily. I gave it 5 stars before I even finished it. Like, it was just so good. Okay, next up we have Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. I read Every Summer After in June and I absolutely loved it. Well, I loved like 95% of it. I did not like the ending at all. I thought the twist was horrible, but I did really like the writing style and I liked Carly Fortune and the way that she tells stories. So this is her second novel. I'm this far into it. I only have a little bit, like a third maybe left of this book. I don't know what it is about sequels these days, but they're not hitting. They're not hitting as hard as the first ones. Sequels are always hard to do. I guess this isn't a sequel. This is just another book by her, but I'm not loving this. I'm gonna finish it. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be like a 3-star read for me. Lastly, we have Happy Place by Emily Henry. I wasn't able to get my hands on an actual copy of Happy Place, so I'm listening to it on audiobook. I'm about halfway through with that one right now. Also, again, I don't like it that much. Like, it's fine. That one might honestly end up being 2 stars for me. And it's hard to guess because I don't like almost ever listen to audiobooks. It's too bad that I read it on audiobook instead of reading it on paper because I think that's kind of like biasing me against that book. I don't know. I think though, something that's going on, it's happening in Happy Place on my audiobook and Meet Me at the Lake. And honestly, The Infinity Between Us, I just have no interest anymore in reading books about like women in their 30s who are just going through a midlife crisis and return to their hometown and reconnect with this mediocre man. I'm kind of over it. Like, that's just not where I am in my life. I don't relate to the characters and they're always just like in this crisis over a guy who's just like average. So that's my main beef with both of these books and Happy Place, which is really too bad because I'm sure if I were older and more of like the target demographic, I'd love them. Anyway, moving on to the books that I think match the vibe of August that I may read during August. First up, we have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Originally, I had thought I might read this in July, but I didn't get to it. And it honestly works out perfectly because it's set during August of 1983. So I'm like, I have to read it during August. Next up, we have People We Meet on Vacation, also by Emily Henry. I read Beach Read last summer and I loved it, and I'm reading Happy Place right now and I'm not loving it. And I tried to read Book Lovers and I didn't like Book Lovers. So Emily Henry right now is kind of on thin ice for me. I know that she's a very popular author amongst my like generation, but I don't know how I feel. However, I have heard really good things about this book and I'm very interested to try it. We will see how this turns out. It kind of seems like it's gonna fall into that same like summer beach read, like same plot in different fonts kind of books, but we'll have to see. Next up, we have In the Weeds by B.K. Borison? Yeah, B.K. Borison. First of all, look at this book and tell me that it doesn't scream August vibes. You can't, because it does. It could also arguably scream October vibes, but August and October have very similar vibes for me. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. The #1 reason that I bought this book is because I want to read Love Light Farms, which is the Christmas novel by B.K. Borison, but I can't read it until Christmas time, obviously. So I bought this as kind of like a tester to see if I like the writing style and if I like the author, so that if I end up liking it, I can read Love Light Farms, the Christmas book, during Christmas. Next up, we have Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. Wow, you know what? Reading the back of all of these books is really making me question if I'm gonna like any of these books. They're all kind of the same. Yeesh. Anyway, I bought this book back in May, I believe, and I've been saving it for August because, again, it just looks like an August book to me. Christina Lauren's Love and Other Words is also one of my favorite books of all time, so I'm excited to see what Christina Lauren has in store for me in this book. And then finally, I do actually have the physical copy of this book, but it's in a box in my brother's room, so I'm not gonna go dig it up right now. I'll just put a picture on screen, but I wanna read Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, I think. Again, this book just feels like August vibes to me. I haven't seen the TV show or the movie. I really want to, but I feel like I have to read the book first, and I know I'm like super late to this game, but what can you do? I've heard really good things about that book, and it feels like August vibes, so I want to give it a try. So these are the August hopefuls, the books that I may or may not read in August. Again, I'm not setting a goal for the number of books I want to read in August. Feel like reading a little bit. If I just get sucked into a book, great. If not, I don't want to like feel like I have to read all 4 or all 5 of the books that I mentioned. So there we go. Those are all of the books that I wanted to discuss in this month's book club. As always, I update my books over on my Instagram as I finish them, and I give my real-time reviews. So if you guys are interested in following along over on the Instagram, I have it linked down in the description. And of course, if you guys have read any of these books, or if you want to read any of these books, let me know in the comments down below, or let me know any recommendations that you have for other books that I may not know about. You guys know I love book club. It's like my favorite section of the reset vlog. All right, gang, last thing that I want to do to fully reset for August is to make my August spread my bullet journal. Bullet journaling is just one of those things that always makes me feel so calm and so present. Like, it's just such a good way to lose myself in doing something creative that has no stakes. So I'm gonna go print out some of the pictures that we found for my Notion page so I can put them in my bullet journal as well. And we are going to make some of my favorite spreads. We're going to do my habit tracker, my daily highlight, my sleep tracker, and my phone usage tracker as well. So if I'm being 100% honest and truthful, this is not my best work. August. This has a lot of like little mistakes that I'm just trying to ignore. But the spreads are done. Let me show you guys. We've got our little cover page. This honestly might be one of my favorites. I think the photos are just so cute. And then I printed out some little emojis that like match the Notion page. And I just put them on amongst the pictures, and I wrote out August, and I think it looks really cute. Over here we've got my little mini calendar, these stems in a vase, and some little daisies, which I think are cute. If we flip the page, we see my habit tracker and my daily highlight. The habit tracker I'm actually really happy with. Usually I like draw every line and I kind of close in the little mini calendars. Usually it looks like that, and I just think it looks really busy, so I think this looks a lot cleaner. Over here we've got my daily highlight, where I write the best part of every day of the month. It just helps me practice gratitude. And over here, this page is a hot mess and a half. This is my screen time tracker, and this is my sleep tracker, but it's fine. Here I track. This is how many hours a day I'm on my phone. I have it up to 8. Fortunately, I don't usually get that high. And then over here, I have my sleep tracker, messed up some of the numbers here. This is what time I go to bed, and you just draw a line extending to when I wake up. So those are the spreads that I did for August. It was so nice. I just threw on some YouTube videos that I've been meaning to catch up on and doodled my little heart out. Something I'm not gonna do in this vlog, I don't even know if I'm gonna vlog it, but I have been so backed up on my book reviews. I usually do book reviews in my bullet journal. Honestly, I don't even know if I can say that I usually do them anymore, because the last one that I did was for a book that I read in March. So We are indeed a little bit backed up, and one thing that I want to do, I might honestly just do it now as I'm wrapping up the vlog, or like after I wrap up the vlog, is catch up on all of those book reviews, because I've been leaving spaces for them. I have like pages and pages of blank space just in the middle of my journal that's meant for book reviews, but I haven't been using them. So that is gonna be my plan for the rest of the night, I think. I can't believe it's already August. Like, this year is going by faster than any other year ever. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks so much for coming along and getting reset with me for a brand new month. We are going to make August the best month yet of this year, so I really hope you guys come along for the journey. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it for me down below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But that's it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.
So let us dance this
Bye,
night
guys.
away.